play some more.
Yeah. Just woke up.
I found out about this group of kids. They're called documented dreamers. And they basically moved to the US with their parents who are on visas. So they come here on visas. They're here
So
legally.
they're here legally.
Yeah, they're here legally.
But they're kids.
But they're kids. And they usually come here around like the age 5.
Okay.
And basically what happens is that they're on this thing called a dependent visa until they turn 21. Okay. And the idea is that, you know, the parents are here for decades. During some time, their visa is going to turn into a green card. They will have permanent residency and they'll be allowed to stay in America. Okay. But because of our archaic immigration system...
How dare you?
I went there.
Dennis, how dare you? And so close to Christmas.
I know. And look, love America, archaic immigration system. But basically, we haven't, this country hasn't updated its quotas for green cards since before the internet. So the last time we did that was like early 90s.
Is this a yearly allotment of green cards?
Right. Yes. Okay. And basically what happens is because of the backlog and also there's certain visas. For example, if you're an immigrant here on a small business visa, you can be on it forever, but there's no path to a green card and to a citizenship. So because of the way immigration is structured, once these kids turn 21, they cannot be dependent of their parents.
No.
So
I know where we're going here.
I know.
Can I guess the ending? Spoiler alert.
Yes.
So when these kids turn 21, their parents have yet to get their green card. They're on a dependent visa. So they are at that moment no longer legally living within the United States. Fuck. At 21, they've been here since they were, let's say, 5. What happens, please?
They have to self-deport.
Hey.
Jeez.
Hey.
Yes.
You know, can I just jump in very quickly? I really thought when I said, "Do you have anything?" I thought it was going to be White Lotus finale. I did not know we were. I didn't know we were going deep.
No, I remember Dennis saying something about Chuck Grassley and his involvement with this, and there was like a picture with some of the kids in that organization. Like, you know what I'm talking about, Dennis?
Oh yeah. So basically, you know, there are more than 200,000 kids right now facing deportation in the United States, and 10,000 deport every year.
All who have been on dependent visas, 200,000.
Yes, and 10,000 deport every year. And you would think the government doesn't know, but they know. So Chuck Grassley met up with these kids in May. He took a photo with them, talked to them about this. So they have this nonprofit called Improve the Dream. It's a bunch of documented dreamers, you know, lobbying for legislation. Right. He took a photo with them and then tweeted it out. And guess what? One of the kids in the photo is already deported.
Did y'all hear that? So this is how they do these types of things. Like, it's a nonprofit organization that's supposed to be helping them or whatever. He takes a picture of these kids that, you know, he's supposed to be supposedly fighting for their plight, and then posts it. And then, of course, what do you think is going to happen as a result? They're like, oh, this guy is illegal.
He just ID'd him.
Let's fix that. What do you say?
I said he just ID'd him.
Yeah, he just doxed him.
Are you suggesting that Chuck Grassley may be somewhat hypocritical? Are you suggesting in any way, shape, or form that Chuck Grassley, who is now, I mean, he has killed more immigration bill. Like, Chuck Grassley is the single worst senator of anybody. I mean, and it's so crazy because he's the one senator who's probably, I mean, look, I'm not talking at his school, just talking actuarial tables, leaving this earth and this country sooner than almost any of the other ones. Like, but he stops it. Why was he meeting with them? To just disappoint them? What, do you have any idea what the meeting was about?
Well, he, you know, the funniest thing is there is bipartisan support on how fucked up this is.
There has to be. This is nuts. It's nuts.
Exactly. And they all agree. And there are actually 2 bills introduced. There's one in House and one in Senate. It's called America's Children Act. And
Wait, it's the ACA.
I guess.
Oh my God!
Maybe that's why.
That ain't right.
Everything is the ACA in this country. All right, so it's the American Children's Act.
Yeah, and it has bipartisan support. Like in the Senate, Rand Paul is behind it.
What?
I know.
Wow. All the Avengers are coming together.
And the idea was, outside of the act, that this would be included in the defense bill.
Okay.
And it was not.
Which just passed, the NDA.
Exactly.
Right.
And it did not pass. It was not involved. Yeah.
Wait. So it was not included, or it got taken out?
So there was a hope that it would be included.
And it was not included.
It was not included, yes. And now it might be in the omnibus.
Knowing how the NDAA works, what happened means is somebody used that as a bargaining chip to get something else. Somebody said, well, if you want that, then I'm taking out the ACA for documented immigrants, because everything down there is, well, then those 200,000 people have to suffer if you want that.
Right.
Because we can't fix everything because that's just who we are.
The NDAA is actually, it's really bad. So a lot of people know we did an Afghan episode.
So Kaysan is talking about the Afghan translators who helped the troops when they were over in Afghanistan. We've left like 100,000 of them behind, and we were supposed to have the Afghan Adjustment Act, which makes them eligible to come here. Now they are all on the run from the Taliban because we left behind all the biometric analysis. Sorry, guys, we forgot the biometric analysis, and they know who you are.
So that's another group that got doxxed. And the Taliban ain't cool with nobody who dealt with the United States in any kind of way. What do you think happened to those people?
I don't know why.
There were stories coming out of Iran before our people were off the ground at the airport. One of them I caught, I think it was on Al Jazeera or one of the other ones, about how 2 days before our airport was even clear, they even started, before we started seeing people falling off planes getting out, that people came into the village and said, we now control the village and all of that. This is so prophet or speaker or whatever. He is now your Sharia law judge. So before we were even out of there, they were going back to cutting off hands and heads and stoning people and all that stuff.
And I'm sure it continues.
You knew about that. Oh yeah. Just you can actually look it up. You just can't. You have to get away from American sites to do it. And even better, if you have a VPN and set your thing to like Europe or another country, you will get stuff that you do not see in the United States at all.
Yeah. I don't be wanting those gory images. I'll be skipping over that. I want to play a little bit.
Getting news sources from other places. If you set your signal to like Africa, there's a lot of American stuff you normally get that you would not get, but you also get a whole lot of stuff that you don't get as an American because they filter the shit out of world news.
Yeah,
because you notice how very little of the news actually says how much of a pain in the ass America is.
Yeah, I got a whole freaking video on that, but I don't know if I'm gonna play it. Maybe I'll play that tomorrow.
And yeah, this is the guy that doxes
John Stewart. John Stewart talked about it.
I give you a pain in the ass about talking bad about America, and here I am saying, yeah, the rest of the world does quite a bit too.
I'm telling you, man, you always give me a hard time about that. There's a video,
but there's a reason.
What's his name?
You completely ignore everything that we've done to change it or make it better after that happened.
I'm trying to think of the dude's name. Freaking Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore did a recent segment about that, and the title of the video is something like "It's All Our Fault" or something. I didn't watch it, but because like, I mean, I didn't have time, but like, it's kind of like singing to the choir with me with that kind of stuff. I want to play a little bit more of this, and then I want to get into the Haiti thing.
Every time we put out a clip from the show,
Yeah.
within the hour, Herschel Walker would come out and say something dumber and dumber. And so we had to be like, truly, we would put out a clip being like, we made a promise to these people, our translators, and we got to take care of them. And as soon as we put out a clip saying that, Herschel Walker would be like, I saw vampires in my sleep last night.
You're saying he's there specifically to draw attention away from
100%.
the SIV programs.
100%. So you look at No One Left Behind, which is a great organization that tries to help our translators get out. And
That's right.
we talked about the SIV program, and you look at the NDAA, and they tweeted out all of the ways that Congress failed our Afghan allies.
Hold on. Let's see. It's one more.
Man, I'll give you whatever, we're going to legalize pot, or we're going to make it so that we decriminalize it. But then if I give you that, all those Afghans who helped our troops, fuck them. Is that like, what trade could they possibly be doing?
Here's the best part. In the statement about the provision not being added, obviously,
It's not the Afghans that I wanted to hear more about the anyways. I'm gonna just move on. But I'm gonna read a couple comments underneath here. But the thing with the kids, because I think they cleared that up. Like, you come over here, I mean, they're actually legal. Then all of a sudden they're illegal, and a lot of this stuff is that. And they're talking about the border all the time, and it's like the majority of the people that's here illegal were people who overstayed their visas or something like that. Actually did come here legally. And then I'm going to get into it with Haiti about the asylum, the ones who get an opportunity to request asylum and the ones who don't. Let me read some comments. It says, as an Iowan, it is wonderful to hear people give honest and accurate criticism of Chuck Grassley. Iowa owes the world an apology for continuing to elect him for year after year. Another comment, it says, I freaking love how John cracks open that hard exterior of the pseudo-political psychology of our country. Incredible amount of forethought in questioning the thoughts, words, and actions of our structure integrity that girds the foundation of our melting pot, while we are surrounded by distrust, greed, and power control. That was a mouthful. Let me read another one. It says, can we talk about all the immigrants who are tied up in the immigration system trying to come here legally? It's been 15 months since my fiance is still held up because of COVID backlogs, and that's with the aid of immigration lawyer. The system is ludicrous even when they say cases are being outsourced to alleviate the so-called backlog. The cruelty is beyond measure. Yeah, because that's what they were talking about in here, like 150 years. Where is that at? That's what I wanted.
all day. I'm fine with that.
Oh, I'm fine with that too.
This is crazy. Dennis, is there anything we can do about this? All roads lead to Chuck Grassley, obviously,
Yes.
on all of these things. So I guess going after Grassley is probably, he's the linchpin.
Absolutely.
The cowardice on the SIV and the Afghan programs, that's expected, because I think underlying prejudice for people from that part of the world is overwhelming to this day. And it's the easiest thing to excise because terror. But Dennis, the situation that you're discussing seems incomprehensible.
Yeah. And the thing that I think about is like, Republicans love to say, do it the right way, get in line, get in line.
And this was the right way.
This is the right way. Right now, for an Indian immigrant with an MBA, the wait for a green card is 150 years.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
150 years.
Yeah. And I think they love to make it about like the border crisis and like, all of that stuff. Everything is about legal immigration. Refugees are about legal immigration.
Yes.
This situation is about legal immigration. It's a big system. They don't want to address it. And they're just saying, to be quite honest, like racist stuff.
It's pathetic.
Yeah, it is pathetic.
It's pathetic. And when you say to somebody, how long do I have to wait for a green card? 150 years. You have to do it in quotes. You just have to go like, oh, how long do I have to wait for my green card? Oh, you'll get it. 150 years. 100. The wait is it's 150 years.
Yeah. Come to this country the white way and get in here in 2175.
Come to this country on one of those specialist visas because we need your expertise. And chances are your kids are also going to, do quite well. But we're going to ask them to leave at 21.
Self-deportation as a concept is crazy.
Yeah.
I always say, like, I pay taxes. And I'm like, I don't even get my own ICE agent. I have to self-deport. Like, that's just kind of crazy.
My taxes, they don't even pay for me to get driven to the airport to get the fuck out of here. Unacceptable. You know what? I can tell during this conversation, when you guys first started, you looked young and vibrant. And I can tell it's, even in these 15 minutes, it's wearing on you.
I ain't gonna lie. This topic is so touchy. This is the one that gets everyone going. Let me read some more comments. It says, what fascinates me the most on immigration is that if there was an amnesty program, there would be so much revenue coming into the U.S. economy. Just on the green cards alone, the government will receive billions of dollars. So it ain't about the money. Let me read another comment. It says, my French mother came here in 1948. She went to her grave still a French citizen. She had an immigration card. She was a resident alien, but she went back to France regularly to visit family, had no trouble getting back in. At a certain point, my youngest son applied for a scholarship to go to a bilingual French-American school, and the French government paid for the whole thing simply because his grandmother was a French citizen. So yes, I believe there is inherent racism going on. Nobody had any problem with a white French woman with a cute accent. The total irony is how many times she privately gave America the finger. To her, the ultimate insult was to say that something was so American, probably asking where the father was in all this. He dumped her for a newer model after 30 years, although he did still support her. Very 50s style. She never worked outside the home, nor did she obtain a driver's license. That's interesting. And that was probably pretty typical too. So she took advantage of the system, is basically what he's saying. And it was because she was, how did he put it?
Basically a cute white woman.
Yeah. Let me read some more. This one, it says, my coworker in South Korea was like this. Raised and grew up in Atlanta, where her parents owned a business, switched to a student visa for university, then had to self-deport to South Korea after graduating. Similar with my high school classmate whose parents immigrated from Serbia in the 90s. It doesn't seem uncommon at all. I'm interested in immigration issues as an immigrant here in Korea, so thanks for covering that. Let me see another comment. It says, in the 1930s or so, my grandfather was picked up by white folks and shipped to Singapore to work in rice fields. After years of suffering, one thing he had for permanent was the control number tattooed on his arm. When I get my first H-1B to US, he was the first person I showed it to. The first thing he noticed was control number on the visa. Yes, after doing bachelor's in computer engineering and master's in cybersecurity, I also had a control number. We both had a long laugh. That is what immigration system of the U.S. for an Indian is. Wow. Let me read this comment. It says, I didn't come on a visa. I came on a MasterCard. Okay.
It's like, dude,
you could just pay your way in.
Control number. What do you think our social security number is? It's our control number.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with that.
It is our digit. It is our alpha. It is our numeric name, according to the government. They don't care about Chaka, Pat, Doc. They care about 3 by 2 by 4. That's all they know.
Let me read a couple more comments. It said, I had to self-deport November 4th. I've been working every day trying to get home to my family. It's just a random person. Man, I feel for you. Feel for you. Another comment, it says, and we talk so much about how the government is going to run out of Social Security if we just make it easier for people to become citizens, especially the ones that came here with H-1B visas who are highly skilled and make a lot of cash. We would continue to put money in that pot. It makes no sense to me why we don't make becoming a citizen easier. Also, the children of these H-1B visas holders are going to go to college and be highly skilled workers as well. It would be nice chain reaction to make them citizens too. Another comment, the system is broken and criminally underfunded and understaffed. By design, I would say. And another comment, it says, and the sad thing is the politicians do not want to solve the immigration issues. No, this is such a freaking vote getter. It's so fucking used for that. It's, the if they didn't have an immigration issue or whatever, they didn't have anybody coming to the border trying to get in here, then a lot of these politicians wouldn't even be able to get elected because they wouldn't have nothing to run on, And I was talking to some guys at work, where I work at, most of these people are not from here. Well, anyways, one of the guys was explaining to me that how Mexico's economy is doing well. And a lot of the people that are coming over here are not coming from Mexico. They're coming from like El Salvador, Honduras, Venezuela.
I can see that.
Hell, there's people crossing the border from Haiti.
That would probably be a better way to go through. But look, that's a great segue. So let's go ahead and get into it. Because y'all remember when that went viral, the whole thing with the Haitians at the border. It was a whole bunch of them. And that turned into a whole big old hoopla in the news. Y'all remember that? They sent all of them back pretty much. Like none of them had an opportunity to seek asylum.
Well, you have to understand, you can't run across the border and go, oh, I'm here now, asylum, safe, ali oxen free. I mean, it doesn't work like that. There's 7 embassies on the way here. They had the chance to walk into any of them and request asylum, but they came all the way to the border.
But they did it for the Ukrainians. They let the Ukrainians right in.
Well, name another country that's getting bombed right now.
Man, the conditions in Haiti is as bad or arguably much, much worse. And I would argue much worse. They freaking got gangs. They got warlords. It's like Mad Max in Haiti right now.
Problem is, asylum is about persecution, not just my life is shit back home.
It's the same thing.
It's about
they're under a war. What's the difference?
What war though? It's not a war.
It is a war.
It's civil it's civil politics. If they are being targeted, yes. There's a lot of reasons why, but just living in slums and having a shitty life is not enough to
that's not what's
to declare
going on.
asylum for.
It's much more than that. Let me play some of this.
I always go back to that poem. When home is in the mouth of a shark, you have no choice but to flee.
Thank you, God, for this day we have lived, everything in our life, our health, our family, the guidance you have given us, allow us guidance to the path of righteousness. Amen.
Really, I'ma get that bitch. Revenge is a dish best served cold. She took my son, now my soul is cold. He took my daddy, now my soul is old.